Hello, all my beautiful souls, and welcome back to Sunrise Tarot. My name is Leah, and today I will be doing a reading for the sign of Virgo for the month of April 2023. I hope all my Virgo friends are doing well. As you know, this is a general reading, so there will be parts that may not resonate with you. Only take the parts that do resonate and leave the rest for someone else. I've already meditated on the cards, I've already shuffled the cards, and this is the spread that I have for you today. In the past position, we do have the Hierophant, clarified by the Wheel of Fortune. In the obstacle position, we have the Knight of Cups, clarified by the Sun. In the present position, we have the Knight of Wands, clarified by the King of Swords himself. And in the future outcome position, we do have the Seven of Cups, clarified by the Knight of Swords. Very interesting spread, so let's get right into it. In the past position, we do have the Hierophant, which is a major arcana card. We also have the Wheel of Fortune, which is another major arcana card. So this is a very, very powerful combination. The Hierophant stands, he actually sits on his throne in between two pillars. On one side he has a pillar of mercy, and on the other side he has a pillar of severity. And so he is like that third pillar, if you will, in the middle. And what he's doing is he's bridging both pillars. He's also sometimes referred to as a bridge between heaven and earth. He is described often as a teacher, as a mentor. He's someone who is like a religious figure for many people. He's someone who understands, you know, and has a lot, a wealth of information when it comes to traditions, when it comes to morality, when it comes to ethics. He kind of makes the rules, you know. He reminds people, you know, what is good and what is negative, or what should be, you know, kind of shunned, if you will. And so when you have the Hierophant in the past position, it tells me that you in the past, in the recent past, were making the rules work for you. And you were doing what you believe was right. And as a result, you were able to kind of create and manifest very positive change, because the Wheel of Fortune turns and brings about luck and fortune, and brings to you what it is that you're trying to create, or trying to get, or trying to manifest. So together, you know, you were able to learn the lesson of something that was truly, truly important. And the divine here is blessing you. The divine here is rewarding you, you know, for the fact that you were able to really understand what's important, and to decipher between different elements that you have in your life. You were able to build something that is sustainable, that is going to last for a long, long time as well. And the divine also here reminds you that the values that the Hierophant brings, you know, although they are important, we are switching to a new kind of system where, you know, the traditions of the past, the values of the past are going to be changed. But it is important to remember them, because they were, you know, the reason why we are here today, if you will. But there is a lot of change coming, because you do have the Knight of Cups. You also have the Knight of Wands. You also have the Knight of Swords. You have three knights in one spread, which tells you, Virgo, that you are going through a process of change where you are shedding the old and bringing in the new. But it is still important to do what is right, and to bring with you the lessons that you have learned, especially those big, big life lessons. In the challenging position, you do have the Knight of Cups, which does tell me that You may feel out of balance emotionally as you are moving through the month of April. You may be, sometimes feeling a little bit over emotional, like overly compassionate or overly guilty about something. Maybe you're being too idealistic and too kind of like rose glasses. You know how people wear rose glasses and that changes their perception of reality for the better, when in fact it's actually not as great. So be careful about illusions. Be careful about escapism as well. You want to make sure that you remember that the power is in the present. As long as you're focused in the present, that is when you have the ultimate power. When you look towards the past too much, when you look towards the future too much, you're not fully present, and therefore your power is diminished. We do have the sun in the clarifying position, which even when it appears in the obstacle position, it's still such a positive card. But it is, important to note that sometimes when we get the sun in the obstacle position, there's some sort of a emotional blockage that you may feel, that you may have, that prevents you from moving forward. So, when you're born, you're absolutely perfect. And as you grow old and as you mature and as you become the man or the woman that you have become, you learn society standards, you take on other people's expectations, and so you then kind of have to unlearn in order to release the blockages that may have been put by different people or society on you. Think of it like being a plant, being like a flower in a planting pot. When the flower grows, it can only grow so much because the pot constricts its growing, right? And so do other people's opinions, and so do a society's expectations. So sometimes we develop blockages where manifestations are given to us, but we're not ready to jump and accept that, or take advantage of it. Sometimes we are emotionally not ready. Other times we distract ourselves with something that we find important, only to learn later that it wasn't as important. So something may be standing in your way of happiness, and that could be some sort of a thought pattern, like a blockage that you've created from moving forward, and really examining your goals and your dreams and making sure that you are realizing your potential in this lifetime, because it is important. The more you do in this lifetime, the more you're able to accomplish in the next. So everything counts, and so that's important to remember. However, in the present position, you do have the Knight of Wands and the King of Swords, which is basically like a green light to go forward. So you will be feeling very confident, determined. You will be, very passionate and fearless about something that matters to you quite a lot, and you're going to be, going for it. As long as you use your logic and as long as you use the rationale that the King of Swords brings to this combination, you will be very successful. We know this because you have the Seven of Cups in the future outcome position, which is, opportunities and possibilities that are going to be offered to you towards the end of April. And that is when you have to be very careful about making your choices, because the Seven of Cups is going to require you to make a decision, and it's going to lead, that decision that you make in the end of April is going to lead to change. That change that's going to be put in place, and you're just gonna have to roll with it, because sometimes when change starts happening, it's too late to kind of go backwards, if you will. So it's definitely important to really look at the choices that will be in front of you and the opportunities that will be in front of you, presented to you by the divine, by your own manifestation of creating advantages for yourself. But it is important to to remember that, you have to be really clear and really focused about what it is that you're trying to accomplish, because sometimes we get lost in our illusions. We start indulging in wishful thinking. We start focusing too much on the materialistic things and not really remembering that, making decisions based out of simplicity and humbleness and what is truly important, rather than what is grandiose and what will impress others, and for the sake of like your reputation. Sometimes you have to do the right thing even though it may temporarily have an effect on your reputation. So that is important to remember. But there's a lot of action in the month of April for you, dear Virgo. So make sure to have plenty of rest, to drink plenty of water, to meditate, to participate actively in self-care, so that you are able to really take full advantage of the opportunities that are being presented to you, and so that you're also able to make really clear decisions driven by very kind of hard logic, right? So make sure that you do something that truly matters to you, and is not sort of because you want to be liked by others, or because you want to impress someone. Make sure that your decisions are grounded in something that is truly important to you, because that is the decision that will pay off in the long term. But let's see what we can clarify with the energy oracle cards that I pulled earlier today. And we have Angel of Balance. Great. We also have Indecision. So yeah, definitely make sure to balance your emotional kind of energy with very logical energy, right? There has to be an alignment between how you feel and how you think, and also with your spiritual values. So those three things, there has to be an alignment between the spirit, the mind, and the heart. And when you are in alignment and everything is balanced, then you're able to be your most successful, if you will. That requires a lot of organization of your thoughts. What are the quality of your thoughts? Are you focusing on thoughts that will, that first of all have, you can back up with evidence, right? Rather than just, emotional thoughts. You also have to focus on how do you feel emotionally about, the most important things in your life, and how you would like to feel about them, later on. So everything has to be balanced. You have to make sure that your higher self is connected to your shadow self, right? Because when those two things are disconnected, you become like a different person, like one way to the public and another way in private. It is important to remember that when you disintegrate yourself, it's harder to manifest. So working with energy is definitely very important in the month of April. You also have the Indecision card, which does tell me that you're going to be making a pause before you make that decision at the end of April. And that's good, as long as that is not, too long of a pause. You still have to kind of move forward. And sometimes when you struggle too much to make a decision, you lose the opportunity to move anywhere, much less forward. So it's important to do as much prep work as you can before having to make that decision, so that when the opportunity comes, you're able to kind of go for it right away. So remember, I heard somewhere that successful people don't have bad days. Successful people have bad 15 minutes. All of us go through struggles. All of us go through disappointments. All of us go through things that are sometimes we have to make a decision and it's very hard, but it is also very, very important to remember to take really good care of yourself, so that when there is a bit of a disappointment, you are strong enough and prepared enough to handle it and still kind of keep moving forward. So that is important to remember in the month of April, dear Virgo. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for visiting my channel. Please don't forget to visit me on Instagram, and I will see you soon.